Hi everyone, my name is Audrey and welcome to my channel. Today I'm bringing you my very belated November TBR. I was actually wondering if I was going to be making just one TBR for the end of the year instead of one each month. But I decided to go one for November and one for December. We're already the 10th of November, so this video is pretty late. I'm sorry. Better late than never. So I am currently behind a lot of books to achieve my Goodreads challenge. I have 15 books left to read in order to achieve that goal. So that means I need to read 7.5 books in November as well as 7.5 more in December. It's a lot, but I still think it's going to be doable. I am going to try to push as much as possible and get those books read. I do have a lot of books that I've started, so that will definitely help me. I did have a huge October TBR because I wanted to have a lot of choices with the books I wanted to read because I had a lot that fit the buzzword prompt. For this month, I'm going to go a little bit smaller and I'll just pick a book that I feel like reading. I think that's the best way to go right now. I do have some books that I really want to read, and I am participating in a readathon this month. So without further ado, let's get into it.
like Bonnie and Clyde when we are together. We were at your best friend's backyard party when your phone fell in the pool. Had a couple missed calls from your crazy ex, but you said it was cool. Girl, I can be yours tonight. I can be whatever you're missing. Take you to the stars tonight, like an astronaut on a mission. I wanna take you higher. Let's fly till we see the northern lights. Girl, this could be yours tonight. Fill the empty space in your broken heart tonight. I woke up at 9 without a hangover, 'cause when I'm with you, I'd rather be sober. I think that we were dancing to a Springsteen song that got me in the mood, and I don't wanna miss a single moment on our journey to the moon. Girl, I can be yours tonight. I can be whatever you're missing. Take you to the stars tonight, like an astronaut on a mission. I wanna take you higher. Let's fly till we see the northern lights. Girl, this could be yours tonight. Fill the empty space in your broken heart tonight. Tonight, tonight, tonight. I'ma take you to the sky. Tonight, I'm a traveler through time. Girl, I can be yours tonight. I can be whatever you're missing. Take you to the stars tonight, like an astronaut on a mission. I wanna take you higher. Let's fly till we see the northern lights. Oh, this could be yours tonight. Fill the empty space in your broken heart tonight. Tonight, 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 tonight.
Back when we were young, I would think you're too good. I never tasted anything before so sweet. All the days we spent together when we fell in love, were took for granted. Now I stand here 'cause I miss your love. I miss your love, your love, your love. I miss your love, your love, your love. Oh, I miss your love. You crash into me like waves. Never knew the value of those days. You crash into me like waves. Never knew the value of those days. I miss the way that you say my name. You're too good. I'd never heard of anything before so sweet. All the days we spent together when we fell in love, were took for granted. Now I stand here 'cause I miss your love. I miss your love, your love, tasted anything before. So sweet.
So as I always do every month, I am still participating in the Buzzwordathon from Kayla from Books and Lala. This month's buzzword is lost, and for this prompt, I will most likely be picking up The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan. I do not know much about this book. Honestly, this buzzword was pretty challenging for me because I just couldn't find any books that were interesting to me with that buzzword, and I do not own any of them. I do own The Lost Apothecary, but I've read that one and I do not want to reread that. I didn't enjoy that book as much as I was expecting it to, and I really don't feel like reading that. So I was looking through lists for that buzzword, and I found The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan, which is a first book of a series. I have never read any Rick Riordan book at all, not even Percy Jackson, and I did want to read the Percy Jackson series, but I thought it was a good idea to start with this one since it fit the Lost prompt. I do not know what it is about. I do know it's based on mythology, but other than that, I'm probably going to buy it on my e-reader so I can get it faster and read it faster. And I do have a lot of books to read, so reading a middle grade book will probably help me out on my book count. I was also really interested in reading Lost in the Neverwoods by Aidan Thomas, but it's a new release and my library doesn't have it in stock, and the price is quite high on my reader. But since it's a newish release, the price is quite high on my reader, and if I am going to pay that price, I prefer having it physically on my shelves, so I don't think I'll be able to read it in November if I do order it. So we'll see how it goes, but I might not be able to read this one that month, but I'm still putting it there because I was interested in this book for the buzzword prompt. This book is a Peter Pan retelling, and honestly, I was really interested in that. I haven't read Peter Pan either, but for some reason it really speaks to me. I've heard mixed things. I know some people really didn't like that book, but I'm still really interested in getting into it. So we'll see if it happens in November or if it will happen only in 2022. I also decided to participate in the LDR-a-thon, which stands for the Long Distance Relationship-a-thon, which is hosted by Chloe Reads Books. I'll leave the link to her channel down below if you're interested. So this readathon goes on from the 8th to the 14th of November, and there are 5 prompts to fulfill. The first book I'm going to read for that readathon do fit 3 of those prompts, and that book is The Night Tiger by Yangzi Chu. I did have this book on multiple TBRs this year. For some reasons, I did not manage to get to it yet. I could not wait to finally pick it up and read, and I did start it finally. So this is happening. This is set in Malaysia in 1931, and it follows this medical assistant who finds himself without a mentor because he just died, and he needs to find his severed finger because there's this superstition that if a person is not whole within the 49 days of his death, there's this superstition that if one's body is not buried whole within the first 49 days after death, the soul of this person is going to wander around and transform itself into a tiger. It also follows a young girl who works in a dance hall to pay off the debts of her mother. And I don't know yet how the 2 point of views connect, but it just sounded really interesting, and I've heard just amazing things about it. And this cover is amazing. Really excited to pick this book up. So this book fulfills 3 prompts. So the first prompt it fulfills is FaceTime calls, which means to read a book that is recommended by a friend, and friend is very vague. It can be a booktuber. So this was a recommendation from, I believe it was Kayla from Books and Lala. So I'm making it fit that prompt. The second prompt it fits is 3,924 miles, which is the distance between Chloe and her boyfriend. So this prompt is to read a book that is set in a different country. So this is set in Malaysia. So obviously it's not my country. I'm in Canada. And the last prompt it fills is reunion, which means to read a book that is a 5-star prediction. And this is a 5-star prediction for me. The next book I'm reading for this readathon is Fire with Fire by Destiny Soria. So this is set in a modern day. It is an urban fantasy and it follows two sisters that are raised to become dragon slayers, and the rest of the world are not aware that dragons still exist or ever existed, and only a few families are born and raised as dragon slayers. These two main characters are one of those people, and one of the sisters actually meets a dragon and a magical bond just forms magically between the dragon and the sister, and the dragon actually needs the help of the sister that has that bond. There's conflict, and I think it's quite interesting. This book came from one of my Fairy Loot boxes I treated myself in spring for my birthday, and it's a gorgeous book. It's a YA, and I didn't hear anything about it prior to me receiving it from Fairy Loot, but so far, what I've read, I'm enjoying the writing, I'm enjoying the characters and the setting. I think it's a very interesting story, and I cannot wait to finish it. And this book fulfills the fourth prompt of the LDR-a-thon, which is airmail, which means to read a book that was gifted to you. I'm stretching this one because it was actually a gift from me to me. I did gift myself a 3-month subscription to Fairy Loot, and this one was a part of it. So yeah, it was a gift from me to me for my birthday. I'm counting that. There's a fifth prompt that I do not know what book is going to fulfill this, but we'll see if I find anything. I might just make the Night Tiger fit that prompt as well, depending on how the read goes. But the fifth prompt is travel bans, which means to read a book that is a feel-good book. I'd like to finish The Night Tiger and see how I feel about that book, and if it fits the feel-good vibe, I'm definitely going to make it count for that one. And finally, I have some other books that I want to add to my TBR. So I've been reading those books for a while, and I just want to wrap up all my current reads before the end of the year. So the first of those books is The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. I have talked about this book so many times on this channel. But briefly, this is a fantasy where the main character actually has the ability to travel through time, and there's this organization that is hunting all magicians because they're afraid of them, and magic is frowned upon, and they placed this brink over New York City so that if a magician is in New York City and tries to leave the city, they will lose their powers and most likely die from that. And if they do use their powers in the city, they are going to be hunted by this same organization. So they're kind of trapped in the city, and our main character Esta is traveling in the 1900s so she can steal some artifacts and change the fate of the future. This is the first book of a series of 4. I believe the 4th one just came out or is about to come out. So I am 40% through. I'm enjoying this. It's not that I think it's a boring book. That's not why I haven't been able to finish it, but for some reason I just keep prioritizing some other books. But it is a fun read, so can't wait to know more. Honestly, I don't know where this is going because except for the heist part of this artifact, I really don't know how it's going to turn into 4 books. So I'm pretty curious to see what turns it's going to make throughout the book. The other book I really want to finish is The Fellowship of the Ring, which is the first book of the Lord of the Rings trilogy by J.R.R. Tolkien. So I don't think I need to tell you the synopsis of this book. I started this one because of a read along on BookTube, and it's a very dense book. The writing is very small and very dense. It doesn't read fast. It's a very epic high fantasy. It's not an easy read, but I am enjoying everything that's in here. Very slow, and there's a lot of info dump if you're not used to this type of writing, but I enjoy it so much. I love the movies and I've watched them many times, and I'm really enjoying the extra information that I am getting in this book. So yeah, I cannot get to know more and finish this book because I do have a book 2 and 3 that are waiting for me to read. And finally, the last book that I'm currently still reading is Game of Thrones, which is the first book of the series by G.R.R. Martin. I gave myself a goal to finish it by the end of 2021. So I still have 2 months to read it. Normally, I should end November at page 1350 because it's 1800 pages long on my e-reader, and it does read pretty fast though, and I really enjoy the writing and the pacing. I've watched the series so many times. I do know that at some point it does diverge from the books, but for now we're still in the first season, and it's pretty much the same thing from the series, and I'm really enjoying the reading experience from the books. And I can't wait to get to that point where there's more things in the books than the series, and I do want to learn more about the universe because honestly, for me, season 7 and 8 are absolute trash and they do not exist for me. So I'm still having hope that the books are going to be better than the series and that I'm going to enjoy them more. We'll see. I know the series isn't even finished yet, but I'm still hopeful. So those are the books that are on my TBR for November. I don't know how many of those I'm going to read, and if I run out of ideas of books to read, we'll see what I do. I'm probably going to go with my mood and my feeling for now. We'll see from there what I feel like doing. So I'm going to just concentrate myself on reading and finishing the books I started. I think that's a priority I really want to give myself. And we'll see after that where we go. So that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed watching my TBRs. And let me know in the comments if you have read any of those books. And if you have any opinions on them, I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new video. And I will see you soon in another one. Bye.